Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the LOVEologist. Ask the LOVEologist. I am April, the LOVEologist. Wait a minute. Did I just say that I am April, the LOVEologist? Well, no, I'm not. My name is Sonya LaRae. I'm a lifestyle relationship counselor, fashion psychologist, educator, and motivational speaker. And guess what? We have taken over Ask the Loveologist because just as she told you last week, we're putting her in the hot seat. So get ready, buckle up, because you're really going to get to see a real beautiful look at your favorite and your only loveologist, Miss April the Loveologist. I introduce you. Hello, beautiful. How are you?
Hello, hello, hello. I am excited to be here on your show today.
Well, you know what? I'm excited to have you here. I'm happy that you allowed me to come in and take over your channel to really be able to introduce everyone, to really kind of get to know you better, get to hear what you do, why you do it, and just to walk them into your beautiful space. Everyone, I've had the great pleasure of really working with April this last year and a half. And I mean, we have really done some great things, and she is doing some marvelous things. So, tonight is all about getting to know the loveologist. And I think sometimes when we get to peel the curtain back and introduce ourselves in such a dynamic way, we really get to connect with you a little deeper and a little better. So, you know what? First and foremost, let me ask you, April, who is April the loveologist?
Well, I am a urologist, and remember, I'm your favorite urologist. I'm a mom, I'm an aunt, I'm a niece. I help people with their love lives. I'm a certified matchmaker, a certified love coach. I'm an adventurous. I love the Lord. I'm just a lovable young lady.
I love that. Yes, you are truly all those things. And you know what? One thing that she also didn't tell you is that she truly is a visionary. Because a lot of times, what April just doesn't shed even the light on, many of you didn't even realize that June is loving month. April, before we go any further, you have to tell them how you came up with the concept and why you came up with the concept of loving month. It's beautiful.
Thank you so much. I came up with this idea as I was studying about dating, and I began to learn so much more about interracial dating. I came across the information about the lovings. On June 12th, that is the day, or the anniversary, shall I say, when the final law, people like to say the law, no, it was the final law was passed for the final 14 states in the U.S. to become states that were legal for interracial marriage. And so there's a movie out called The Lovings, and it tells you the story about, well, it doesn't tell you everybody. I know some people may think that they're the only ones, but the thing about it is there's so many people who went before us who have had to deal with things and had to shed blood for us to get to this point in our lives where interracial marriage is legal. And so this movie, The Lovings, is just awesome. And I tell you, my favorite part in that movie is when the lawyer comes out on the porch with Mr. Loving, and he says, so when we go before the Supreme Court, what do you want us to tell the Supreme Court? This man was smoking a cigarette, took the cigarette out of his mouth, lifted up his head, and looked at him and said, I love my wife. That is my favorite part of the whole movie. And that is what made me want to bring the month of June out as Loving Month. And since we're doing authentic love, it just seemed like it was certainly appropriate.
Oh my goodness, I love it. So you see, like I told you, she has so many things underneath the hood, but we're going to peel it back. We're going to slow it down a little bit so we can really cover all the bases. I want you to really get to know your loveologist. So listen, I got to ask you this. What are some talents and skills that you have?
Oh my. If you give me a flute, a clarinet, or a saxophone, I can probably play those. Skills, I feel that one of my power skills is being able to speak in public. So, if people would like me to come and share with their singles, I would be glad to come because I am not shy about speaking on stage. Other talents, connecting people that can actually work together, get along together, and just coming into a room and changing the atmosphere, I guess you could say, is another talent that I do possess.
Yes, you do. I love it because, you are such a dynamic speaker. I have the privilege of sharing many stages with you. And I have to ask you, when you do start speaking, and what really kind of stirs in you or births you to bring forth such powerful conversations on dating?
When I think about who it is I'm speaking to and what they may have on their mind, it just fires me up. And then just sitting there, let me put it like this, in the middle of the speech or once I get going, it's like I can feel the audience and I can feel what they want to know. And it's like they're there just pulling it out of me. So one of the things that I really, really love doing is when I'm bringing forth information that I know is hitting the nail on the head. And I even like to communicate with people before I go to speak to your audience, maybe sending out an email to find out some things that they would like to know about. Because that way it gives me an opportunity to really dig in and share and just pour out what it is that they really want to know. And here's another key. When I can tell that there's some things about dating that they may not know about, I like to go in my little head and grab those things and share it with them because I like to see the faces when they go, oh.
That is powerful. And I think sometimes you have the ability to even lean in on those pain points or just those markers that they're saying that really kind of open people up to different things and different ways of what they're looking at. What are a few of your power topics that you like to lead with?
I like to talk. I like to talk about online dating because I like to educate people on the hidden secrets of online dating that they're not going to find when they go through the dating site and read all the little articles and testimonials. I also like to talk about the differences in cultures when you're doing interracial dating. And oftentimes I'll actually focus on some particular cultures. And if I know that there are people in the audience who are interested in dating people from specific cultures, I will actually share with them some of the dating, let me say it this way, some of the traditional dating habits in that culture. Another area that I like to share is I just like to share things that have to do with busting the myths that people have on their mind about dating outside their culture. That's just a few of them.
I think that's powerful too, because when you start to really think and really open up those curtains where people have a lot of misguided or misconceptions about interracial dating, I think it's so powerful when you have a person like yourself that is educated, that can really help them to understand or even understand the differences in the cultures. So, April, I have to tell you, I celebrate you and I think what you're doing is beautiful. So, let me ask you another one. So, why did you become a love coach or the loveologist?
That is a lengthy story that we're gonna try to put in a nutshell here. The first thing that sparked this was that I had been single myself for many years. And I decided it was time for me to stop doing things alone. And it was time for me, being a female, to stop knocking down all the doors for myself. And so I decided I wanted to remarry. But then I realized you've been single for quite a while, girlfriend. I think you need to go learn how this works in this century. So I set out to learn those things. And as I began to learn things, I also remembered that I had dated a Caucasian guy in my younger years, and I felt like it was the best relationship that I had ever had. And so, over the next 3 months after having that thought, it just kind of exploded in me about this great relationship that I had with this guy. And I began to discover so much more about interracial dating. And I made the decision. This is going to be my niche. This is going to be where I'm going to go. And I also realized after doing a lot of studying and learning that there were so many women, particularly in my age group, or women that were divorced, that if they only knew some of the things that I had learned on my journey of learning about dating in this century, they would go back and connect with the guys that they had actually dreamed of, because those are the things that I know, those are the things that I can share with you, things that will help you actually be able to connect with the person or the type of person that you truly deep down desire. That's how I became the love coach and the loveologist.
So,
What
with
the
that being
I left out
said,
another point. Also, my mentor came to me one day, because if you don't know, I am an ordained minister. So my mentor came to me one day and said, "Hey, are you really, really attached to that word apostle?" And I was like, mm-hmm. They said, "What do you think about the word loveologist?" I was like, "Ooh, now that sounds sexy." And I said, "Okay." But then when I quit talking to them, immediately I was on the computer researching that word loveologist. Because, when you're in the public eye, you want to make sure that you eliminate as much, I want to say, error or negativity as possible. So I had to go and look and see about this word loveologist. And to my surprise, it actually stems from a lot of, shall I say, the Christian world using that term when they are educating people on dating.
and I think it really kind of really ties you together with everything that you're about and what you're bringing forward, what you birth inside of your agency as well. As you were speaking and telling how you really started to connect and to move into your purpose and your passion, it made me also wonder, are you the first in your family to be as interracially dating, or is it something that you've seen in your family before?
It's not a big thing in my family, but in my family, there's no concern about whether somebody is whatever their culture is. When I was young, I was introduced to a Caucasian lady, and they said she was our cousin. Okay, fine. So she's our cousin. I have cousins who came back from Korea. They're older than myself, and they both came back with Korean wives. We got new cousins. Okay. My mom adopted a child that was Caucasian. She's my baby sister. One of the things that humans need to get a grip on is this: we all bleed the same blood. It does not matter what side of the earth you are from. It don't matter. We all bleed the same blood. We all have to deal with similar issues of the world. If you if you can work with this person, if you can live with this person in harmony, if you can communicate with this person, then why not? Sometimes we just make a big deal out of nothing. And I've seen people from a lot of different what the typical person would call opposing cultures. I've seen them get married, have wonderful relationships, and long lasting, like 20, 30 year relationships. And it just really is not that big of a deal. We're just really making too much out of something. What they say, making a mountain out of a molehill?
Exactly, exactly. And I think it's beautiful because I think that's what makes you so dynamic in your power too, is because it isn't about the color, it's about the love, it's about the heart. And I think that's why when you start speaking, so many people connect with you too. But then it leads us into something else that you've done, darling. It's you wrote a very, very good book as well, and it's entitled What Your Mama Didn't Tell You About Dating. So, what sparked the desire for you to, first of all, write this book?
Remember, I said that I felt like there was a lot of ladies, particularly in my age group, that if they knew what I knew, they could go and get that person that they really desired. Well, as I thought about that, I thought about how women in my age group, particularly, the things that we went through. A lot of us, our parents were single parents, and we were typically with our moms. But I remember in my household, my mom was busy working. She had two daughters. Two daughters. That would be the book. She had two daughters, and she was busy working as a single parent to make sure that we had clothing and shelter, and we made it to school on time. And as I thought about it, I was like, I don't really remember having any kind of conversation with my mother about dating.
Yes.
And now that we've done this, I never had any conversation with my dad either about dating. And so I took the book, and what I did, because I wrote the book in the beginning stages of building this agency, I really focused it towards women who were in my type of situation, as well as some of the women that I had connected with. And I realized that they had certain ideas about men that were terribly wrong. Because my objective is to help people get to their destination. And when they get to their destination, I want to meet them at the altar because I want to be there to watch them get married and live happily ever after.
Exactly. You know, in your book, you have a chapter in here, and it's actually chapter 4, that says, What does Boaz really want? Now that you've had time in your journey, and you are such an educated, and you've had so much under your belt now of becoming a certified matchmaker and as a loveologist, what do you think from when you wrote this book to now you feel that Boaz is looking for, or that Mr. Right is looking for?
He's looking for that confident woman. He's looking for the woman that is going to be authentic. Yes, he needs a woman that's a supporter. But when you get with the right guy, he's going to support you. Um, they want respect. Men want respect. You want to lose your man real quick. Let him feel like you don't respect him. And here's something that a lot of women just really don't know. He wants to make you happy. He wants to see the smile on your face every day. That's why a lot of them will step in and try to solve your problem, or they'll step in and shield you from something. They don't want to see on your face. They want to see you happy. They want to make you happy. They want to know that they did something to put that smile on your face and that jiggle in your walk.
The pep in your step and all that other good stuff, right? I love it because I love that your book it speaks in a real voice.
Mm.
It's not something that is so contrived. It's very realistic. It's a way that you speak to people. It's a way that they really get to hear a sincerity that comes across with it. And I also thought, like, as you was writing this book, I noticed like there was an element of even allowing women to step into their power, but not to downplay their power, but to also know that you can still be that dynamic woman and still be that beautiful vessel to that man. Why do you feel that it's important for you as a loveologist, as a matchmaker, to help women to really understand that dynamic?
One thing is anybody who downplays themselves. And I want to tell you, I experienced it. It was not in a romantic relationship, but in my lifetime, I've done that. I had a situation and I had to shift it and downplay it. But you know what? It messed with my self esteem. It messed with my confidence. It took me like a year to get even halfway back to where I was beforehand. And the thing is, when you're in a romantic relationship, what it can result in and manifest real ugly into is you resenting that person. It also can result in you having so much anger and hatred on the inside that you'll start exhibiting those traits publicly at the wrong time. So this takes me back to the fact that you need to be authentic. You need to be you. And this is why you need to find somebody who is compatible to you so that you can be you.
I love that. Because you know what? That's the truth of the matter. If you can't be authentic, if you can't be your genuine self, literally, you don't have anything that is going to keep you connected to that person, as vice versa, the same way. So I always tell people that if you come in with the smoke and mirrors, it is going to fall apart because the real essence of who you are is going to show up anyway. So why not lead with it? So I love that you're teaching your audience and your women that are working with you and your clients that are coming into you that true factor, be it male or female, because it's a powerful lesson that so many need to learn in this dating arena. So let me ask you this. Because you are so open, what cultures have you dated in your journey?
In my journey, I have dated Ghanaian, Caucasian, Hispanic. Let me think if I'm missing anything. Oh, Nigerian. That's probably about it.
So
That's probably about it.
now that you're on your journey into love, who are we looking at? Who do you feel that your soul may be connected to, or what culture do you feel more drawn towards?
You know, um, when I lived in Oklahoma is when I got my first real connection with Hispanic Latinos. And they really stole my heart when I was there. But, like I said, a lot of time passed. And now that I'm back into the dating arena, one of the things that I've noticed is that I'm actually attracting the Hispanic men, the Latin men. Yes, and then second to that, we might go a little Caucasian. And after that, we'll just see what happens, okay?
Flavor is the spice of life, as I always say. That's good. I love it. You going in the right direction for me. So many times you've spoken on social media about online dating, and I know we touched on it before, but what has been your online dating experience, and why do you encourage your clients to participate in online dating?
Online dating is a place for you to really, really learn. Um, if you don't know all the stuff you need to know about online dating, you shouldn't get mad at the app. But when you go on there, there are certain basic things you need to know. And it is an excellent place for you to learn about yourself, for you to learn about how men respond to you or how the ladies respond to you. Um, there's different protocols and things that I share with the men and the women to ensure that they are safe. My own